faculty and staff and the Pope players, I would like to welcome you to tonight's production. I might be a little nervous up here. It's been a few years since I've had a chance to do this, so I might forget everything I'm supposed to say, so I apologize if I do. This is an incredible moment. I have to tell you, I've been doing this for many, many years, and I cannot remember the last time I was nervous in front of a crowd. This has been an incredible journey. This cast and crew of roughly 47 students has faced some incredible challenges to put this production together, and every single one of these students did their job. We have a philosophy in our theater department, and that is, don't be in the show, be a part of the show. And there wasn't a single student at any point during this production who tried to be in the show. They were always a part of it. What an incredible lesson for all of us to learn. And I really feel like these students have really grown over the last 2 months. And I think a lot of that is credit to the people in this room. Because it's not just about what they learn here. It's about the values that they learn at home as well. And I think it's very evident that the parents in this room have done an incredible job raising these young adults. So I would like to personally thank you for your patience during these productions, for some of the late nights that we had. I cannot thank the parents enough for the food that was provided this week. We ate very well. I think I gained a few pounds. So I would like to thank you for that. I think you're really going to enjoy tonight's production. It's very funny. I think you're going to laugh a lot. You're really going to enjoy yourselves. There is a little bit of audience participation. So please feel free to participate when asked. There will be one part of the show where there will be a character in the audience. I don't want to give it away, but just so you know, there will be one point early on in the show where there will be some participation of an actor in the audience. A few things. Just to remind everyone, please turn your cell phones to silent. These performers have been working very, very hard, and it is very distracting to have your phone go off. I know, because every time I'm directing and sitting out there and my phone goes off, it throws them off. So if you could please do that. You are more than welcome to take pictures during the production, as long as you don't use a flash. And as long as you don't have one of those phones that makes that clicky, clicky sound. Okay, again, that can be distracting. But otherwise, you are more than welcome to use your phones to take pictures or short videos if you would like. All right, there are bathrooms available. The lights will stay on in the aisles during the production. You are more than welcome to use the bathrooms at any point. Please be careful going down the stairs. There are times during the show where we do go to sudden blackouts. So you do want to just be careful if you are getting up during the show. Okay, we have our 50-50 raffle. We have backstage notes. You can write a little note and send it backstage to your favorite actor or maybe possibly your favorite director. Again, before we get started, I really want to thank all of you for your support of the theater here at Pope Francis. It is a big part of the program. As you know, our goal is to educate the whole person. And without the extracurricular activities, we really wouldn't be able to accomplish that. And since we moved into this absolutely beautiful facility, it's really been wonderful to be able to do productions in this gorgeous theater and really to share it with all of you. So again, I thank you for your support. I thank you for entrusting your children's education with us. And I promise, and I know on behalf of the faculty, staff, and administration, we all promise to continue to do our best to educate your children so that they will be prepared for life and they will be faith-filled individuals. So again, thank you very much, and without any further ado, I present the plot, Like Gravy Thickens.
Forget about the girl. We've got bigger worries.
Such as?
That document, or whatever it is, Edward's carrying around.
What about it?
It could be our eviction notice.
What do you mean?
I mean, they could be divorce papers. If I'm left out in the cold, you would be too, Tony. We'd both be penniless.
Divorce? Are things that bad between you?
Edward has grown tired of me, and I suspect he's already picked my replacement. At first, I thought he was simply having a mild flirtation with that Dixie Cream donut, Peggy Sue. Now I'm not so sure.
Oh yeah, Peggy Sue. She's a knockout! But you're more sophisticated than she is, more glamorous than she is.
20 years older than she is. She has one thing I don't, Tony, youth. And that's the one thing Edward's money can't buy me.
Edward's money. It should be your money too. He hadn't made you spend that.
But he did. I'm afraid the only way his fortune could possibly become mine is if he were to drop dead before he divorced me.
Okay, hold it! That looked pretty good. Can we get some more lights, please? We killed the storm. I think I'll save the rain until closer to the end anyways. You two can take a break. Call you back in a few minutes and introduce you properly. Nick, Jacob, you left the table in the wrong spot. Oh, hello. You caught us at an intense moment. I was just working on a little scene. Well, you'll see it later. I am a writer. Well, I'm a playwright, to be exact. Well, that's not entirely accurate. I represent a playwright, so to speak. Here, it might help if I had a name. Let's see. Writer's alter ego. Alter. I know. How about Walter? Close enough? Fine. Call me Walter. Here's the deal. I thought you might find it interesting to see how I commit a murder. There's an offer you don't get every day, do you? The easiest way to show you is to deconstruct the crime, so that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, pay attention. Once you see how simple it is to knock somebody off, you might want to try it yourself. Well, in your imagination, of course. Now, when I start a new play, the first thing I try to picture is the setting. I'm partial to old mansions like this that's dark and gloomy. A room such as this creates the perfect ambiance for a murder to occur, don't you think? I like fireplaces and French doors, and I use them often. When the room lights go out, glowing embers and pale moonlight provide just the right amount of low lighting to evoke a sinister atmosphere. Pretty chilling, huh? I've learned to keep the storm effects to a minimum, though. Keep them going on for too long and people start popping up in the audience and rushing out to the restrooms. And that can be terribly distracting. 86 the storm! That's better. I had the feeling that you were just about to take up off the aisle. If you could hold it until intermission, I'd be extremely grateful. So that brings us to the subject of suspects. I'd like you to meet the possible killers in tonight's little mystery comedy. There are quite a few of them. I mean, it wouldn't be much fun to guess the murderer if there were only a couple of suspects to choose from, now would it? Let's start with the characters you saw earlier. Tony! Allegra! Hey guys, come on back in! Oh, I need to tell you, this is the living room of powerful and ruthless millionaire Edward Worthington III. You'd be surprised just how much time I put into thinking up my characters' names. Edward Worthington fits a mature man with a strong personality, and the third suggests old money handed down through several generations. Admit it, you wouldn't conjure up that image if I had named him Jack Spratt, now would you? You'll meet Edward later. As you'll discover, most of the characters have very strong feelings towards the man, including these two. This is Edward's wife, Allegra, his second wife, to be precise. Help me out.
When Edward grew tired of his first wife, Justine, he divorced her and married me. It's an old story. Middle-aged man dumps first spouse for trophy wife. I suppose I should be grateful you didn't name me Heisman.
Not a chance, my dear. Although I go for laughs, I do draw the line at low comedy. Allegra suits you perfectly. The name is beautiful and mysterious, just like you.
Thank you. I shall do my best to live up to it.
I'm Allegra's brother, Tony Blackwell. Can I help it if women find me irresistible? How about meeting me after the show? Gorgeous.
Time out. You had better not make any plans for later, Tony. If I decide to make you the murderer, you might find yourself in an intimate little jail cell.
I guess that's true. How about a rain check?
I use characters like him in my shows fairly often. They invariably try to seduce one of the young women. A sweet, innocent maid, perhaps. That adds suspense to the story. Will she succumb to his charms or won't she? That's called a subplot. You two can be seated while I continue the introductions. Justin! Deborah! Now, Allegra mentioned Justine Worthington, Edward's ex-wife. This is she and their daughter, Deborah, a college student. Justine, what are your feelings towards your former husband?
I despise
Remember, this is a G-rated show.
old goat. When we married, I was young and attractive. I gave Edward a lovely daughter, Deborah. But when I failed to provide him with a male heir who could mold into becoming as heartless and power-hungry as he is, it made my life a living nightmare.
Poor Mom. Father didn't mistreat me. He ignored me. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I had these long curls that fell to my waist. And one day, I took a pair of scissors and chopped off all my hair. And I chopped off all my hair.
Cut! Nick, what are you doing?
Jacob said that we needed a wig for Deborah because she had long, curly hair.
No, she just said that she cut her hair.
Nick, I never said that. What I said was that Deborah cut the curls. And even if she didn't, that's not even a long wig.
But that's what... I thought that's what she told us to...
That's enough! Can we continue, please?
Fine.
I'm terribly sorry. Our stagehands should remain behind the curtain for the remainder of the show. Deborah?
Right. Anyways, oh right. I chopped off all my hair, down to 1-inch bird cut. And that was years before girls ever considered such a style.
Your beautiful curls.
I thought that if I looked like a boy, then maybe Father would pay attention to me. But I don't even think he noticed.
I might have been able to forgive Edward for what he did to me, but this behavior toward our daughter, I'll resent him for that till the day I die. Or he does.
Whew. We get the picture. Be seated, ladies. Edward has one other family member, his sister, Beatrice Worthington. Now, Beatrice is several years older than him and helped raise him since their parents were jet setters who were constantly zipping around the globe, leaving their offspring in the home in the care of nursemaids and house servants. Beatrice! Now, Beatrice is somewhat befuddled, and it's possible that her brother allows her to live in his household out of a sense of duty rather than any feelings of affection towards a sibling.
Did somebody call me?
Oh, yes, Miss Worthington, come on down and say hello to all these nice people.
People? Oh, hello. It's so nice to see you. I rarely go out, so I don't get to meet new people. Well, except for Edward's associates, who call occasionally, but I never seem to understand what they're talking about. Oh dear, I didn't realize so many people were coming to Edward's birthday party. I don't think we'll have nearly enough food.
Don't worry, Mrs. Worthington. They won't be joining us for dinner.
Oh, good. Oh, it's not that you're not welcome.
Oh, consider yourself lucky. Stage food, seldom what it's supposed to be. Expired pudding for whipped potatoes, that sort of thing. Starving actors usually love dinner scenes and will eat anything that's not nailed down. But there are some food substitutions even they shudder to think about. You did very nicely, Miss Worthington. How about joining Allegra and Tony at the table?
All right.
as Beatrice mentioned. This is for a very special occasion, Edward Worthington's birthday, his 50th, in fact. If you're wondering why his former wife would be present at such an event, it's because Justine was ordered to. And since Edward signs her alimony checks, she bit the bullet and showed up. Let's get on to the other party guests. Roy Connie! Roy is Edward's business manager. He is responsible for overseeing Edward's vast fortune, which includes the money he inherited, as well as the millions generated yearly by Worthington Enterprises, a conglomerate of television stations, newspapers, and other media-related companies. It's a staggering responsibility that requires a serious-minded individual. No wonder Roy is always uptight and shows all the warmth and humor of a popsicle.
If Edward wants to laugh, he can hire a comedian. I've worked for Edward for 20 years, and my employer is brilliant at running his businesses, but he depends on me totally to control the finances. Sometimes I wonder if he appreciates how well I do my job.
I have no doubt you're great at it. Now they say behind every great man stands a great woman. No, Connie. That's just a figure of speech.
I thought. Never mind.
The woman behind Roy, figuratively speaking, is his wife, Connie. Now, she and Roy are as mismatched as a plaid shirt with striped pants.
Really? Really, Walter? How dare you?
My point still stands. Connie is as giddy as Roy is somber.
Oh, he's just saying that because I got lost in a super Walmart for an entire day. It could happen to anybody.
I will add, she spent part of that time searching for her car in the parking lot.
You've done that too, right?
Roy, if you'll help Connie find her way over to the sofa, we'll continue. Another guest tonight is Peggy Sue Brumley. Peggy Sue! Peggy Sue is Edward's personal secretary, and she comes from Alabama, possibly with a banjo on her knee. I say that because she is your typical Southern belle. She goes by both her first and middle names, of course. South of the Mason-Dixon line, you'll find lots of Peggy Sues, Peggy Lees, Peggy Jeans, Peggy Anns, whatever.
Oh, that helps you tell all those Peggy's a pie chigolo.
Well, oh, shut my mouth! Say hi to all the folks, honey chili.
Hi, y'all.
I confess, I have a great affection for Southern women. They're charming, funny, and very bright, but they can hide that fact when they want to. They could easily get away with murder because you'd never expect a sweet young thing like Peggy Sue could be capable of a grisly crime.
Oh, well, I certainly hope not. I don't know why Walter would even suggest such a thing. Oh, murder indeed. The very idea just gives me the willies. Besides, you'd have to dislike someone heaps and heaps to want them dead, and I'd get along fine with everybody. Oh, well, just about.
And Edward?
Edward can be extremely demanding at times, and real rude when he's in a bad mood. And he gets in bad moods a lot. I'll admit, he does ruffle my feathers from time to time. But you can't murder a person for having an unpleasant disposition, now can you?
Anything's possible, Peggy Sue. How about joining the family at the table?
Oh, sure, sweetie.
One last business associate of Edward's to introduce, his lawyer, Lawrence Tate. Lawrence! As I said, Lawrence is Edward's lawyer, but that doesn't necessarily make him the villain of the piece. There's no doubt. There's no doubt the man can write up a legal paper. If Lawrence had been around in 1776, he could have whipped out the Declaration of Independence in just 15 minutes.
Thank you. I accept the compliment because it happens to be true. You might say I'm especially adept at drafting the modern equivalent to the Declaration of Independence, to wit, divorce papers. And if you don't believe me, just ask Justine Worthington. It's also possible that Allegra Worthington might be able to attest to that fact in the near future. Also, both women have learned the hard way that I can write a marriage contract that is ironclad, one that protects Edward from fortune hunters with complete success.
Thanks for the information, Lawrence.
Anytime, you'll receive my bill in the mail.
I have only myself to blame. I created him. One last set of introductions, and then we'll get this show on the road. The household staff. Staff, please join us! Now, in real life, it would take a staff the size of a small platoon to run a manor as large as Worthington Manor. However, for our purposes, these four will represent them quite nicely. Sounds off, troops?
I am Hollister, the butler. I picture Worthington Manor as a huge ocean liner of which I am the captain. The other servants will tell you I run a tight ship.
That's the truth, and I like it that way. I'm Miss Vickers, the housekeeper. Mr. Worthington's home is a showplace, and I intend to keep it that way.
I'm Ina, the cook. Somebody didn't give me a last name, so it's just Ina. I do my job, keep my ears open and mouth shut. You'd be surprised what I could tell you about the people who live under this roof. But I won't. I'm Edith, the maid. I'm kind of shy, and I wish I didn't have to stand up here and talk about myself. I heard what you said about Mr. Tony trying to seduce maids, and that makes me nervous too.
Don't worry, my dear. We'll deal with Tony when the time comes. So, here you have them, folks. The cast of characters in tonight's mystery. Well, most of them. They include, as you recall, Edward's wife and her brother, his ex-wife and their daughter, his sister, his business manager and his wife, his personal secretary, his lawyer, and the household staff. They will start the play while I summon Edward Worthington, the key figure in our story. Could we get a blackout and some mood music for the transition, please?
Ina sent me with the hors d'oeuvres, Mrs. Vickers.
Put them on the table, Edith, though I doubt anyone will have much of an appetite.
That would be a shame. Ina has prepared a wonderful dinner. Pot roast, gravy, with potatoes.
Ooh. She could have saved herself the trouble and opened a can of spam. Believe me, this kind would have the mind on the cooking.
What do you mean?
I mean, the guests know Mr. Worthington when he called them here for the pleasure of their company. He's barely civil to them at best. You mark my words. The boss is up to something.
Oh, I hope it doesn't get unpleasant. I hate scenes.
Then you better find a broom closet to take shelter in. I know Mr. Worthington, and I know what he's capable of.
You come on in here, Miss Beatrice. Hollister will announce dinner when it's ready. I found her sitting at the dining room table with a knife in one hand and a fork in the other. I'll take this. I'm hungry.
There's a tray of Ina's lovely hors d'oeuvres on the table, Miss Beatrice. Why don't you have some of those?
I believe I will. I have to get back to my Brussels sprouts. Edith, come with me. You'd better bring in another tray of hors d'oeuvres.
Yes, ma'am.
If you could keep her in here, I'd appreciate it.
I think she'll be content where she is.
Edith?
Miss Beatrice, I need you to sit right here and wait for the others. They'll be here shortly. I have to check the polish and anybody wish to retire there after dinner.
Retire? Is it time to go to bed?
No, Miss Beatrice, just enjoy your snack.
Snack? Oh, yes. Do you want one? You can have the ones with the black things.
They're olives.
I don't like them. You eat them.
No, thank you. There's some lovely mints, too. I'll check on you later. That poor woman.
you get someone who makes more money in a day than you do in a lifetime? A doormat everyone can kneel on to kiss his feet?
I think he owns several already. What did you get him?
A necktie. It's the closest thing I can think of to a noose. What about you?
A gold-plated pen and pencil set. Since everything Edward touches turns to gold anyway, I thought they'd be appropriate.
Presents? Are those for me?
No, Beatrice, they're for your brother. It's Edward's birthday.
It is? Oh, it is. Oh, I forgot to buy Bubba a present. I guess I could give him something I happen to pick up.
That's not necessary. I'll put these over here.
Ooh, hors d'oeuvres. They look good.
Most of them are.
I'm not very hungry anyways.
What is it?
Some kind of beetle, I think. It must have come in at the French doors.
It's clouding over. The TV weatherman said there's a storm approaching.
How appropriate. It could get tempestuous inside as well as out.
Tony! Edward has been very difficult to deal with lately. Try not to do anything that might upset him.
I'll try, sister dear, but the very fact that I breathe the same air seems to upset Edward.
Excuse me. Oh, good. More nibbles. I'll put these over here.
You look very pretty tonight, Edith.
It must be the dress.
Thank you, Mr. Blackwell. You look nice in your tuxedo and all.
Edith! I imagine Ina could come up with something for you to do in the kitchen. Why don't you find out?
Yes, ma'am.
Really, Tony, leave the girl alone. You'd be better off trying to charm some young heiress who could support you. I don't think Edward's going to allow me to help you out much longer.
The old skinflint. But don't worry about it, Allegra. I have enough charm to go around for both heiresses and pretty maids. The guests are starting to arrive.
Is the Avon lady here?
No, Beatrice, eat your hors d'oeuvres.
What a good idea.
Come in and let me hang your coat.
Thank you, Hollister.
The life of the party has arrived.
The Phillips!
Hey, Roy, old boy.
Tony, Allegra.
Roy, Connie.
Allegra, you look beautiful. I just love that dress. I wish I could find one like it.
I don't think they carry Armani at Walmart.
You might be right, but I'll ask them next time I'm there.
You do that.
Where's our host?
He'll be down shortly. Make yourselves comfortable. I'll get us something to drink.
Care for an hors d'oeuvre?
I don't mind if I do. Good evening, Miss Beatrice. May I join you? I guess so. Eat the snacks with black things on them. You rang, Mrs. Worthington?
Yes, Edith, you can begin to serve the wine.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Roy, how are things at the office?
Under control.
I don't doubt that in the least.
How are things wherever it is you spend your time?
Couldn't be better, Roy. Couldn't be better.
Come in, Miss Grundy. I'll take your coat.
I'll have to get Edith to bring in some Southern comfort. Or maybe a pint of Jack Daniels.
Miss Brumley!
Evening, everybody. My goodness, Peggy Sue, that is the biggest present I have ever seen. What is it?
For Edward, probably a money clip.
Oh, silly. Actually, it's a year supply of caramel corn. That corn for sure means it wouldn't get stale.
What does he care? He probably retired after he made that sale.
Oh, it didn't cost a whole heap, Allegra, honey. Besides, it's a token gift anyways. Edward already has everything his little heart desires.
Does he now?
Oh, Roy, Tony, y'all look mighty spiffy tonight.
So do you, Peggy Sue.
Good evening.
In fact, that outlaw dressed like that woman, I'd say the combination could be highly combustible.
Oh, flatterer.
Wine? Not a moment too soon.
Oh, I wouldn't mind a little bubbly. Mrs. Phillips? Thank you, Edith. Miss Beatrice, would you like a glass? What's in it? Wine. Nope, if it's not spray
along, Edith, and set up round 2.
Yes, ma'am. Roy, come sit.
Yes, dear.
Peggy Sue.
Oh, thank you, Tony.
That must be Lawrence. Everyone else is here.
Mr. Tate, please come in.
You were right, Allegra.
It had to be he, the delivery boy from Domino's, and I know for a fact he cooked a roast, gravy, whipped potatoes.
This way. Mr. Tate!
Good evening, Lawrence.
Allegra, everyone.
Good grief, Lawrence. Why do you have your briefcase inside the party? Have you got to the point where you've attached that thing to your wrist with handcuffs like a diplomatic cord?
No, Roy. There are some papers inside that Edward insisted I bring him. This is for him as well. Now, if you'll all excuse me, Edward asked me to join him in his suite as soon as I arrived.
How typical of Edward. He never stops thinking of business, even on his birthday. What was that?
If that was someone's stomach growling, they can eat the snacks with the black things on them.
It was thunder. At least everyone arrived before the swan.
Yes, everyone's here.
Now everyone is here.
Justine, who invited you to the party?
Edward, and he didn't invite me. He ordered me to be here.
Father told me to drive down from college as well, and since he pays tuition, I didn't have much of a choice, did I?
Hello, Deborah, dear.
Oh, hello, Aunt Bee.
Justine, dear, why didn't you come to the front door?
Did you get lost?
No, Connie, my sense of direction is just fine. I didn't care to have Hollister greet me like a guest. This used to be my home, and he used to be my butler. The situation would have been awkward for both of us. I preferred to let myself in.
Mom, let's hang up our coats.
I've set up games in the parlor if anybody cares to play after dinner.
Mrs. Vickers, Justine, and Deborah Worthington just arrived unexpectedly. I'm afraid we'll need 2 more places set at the dining table.
It's done. I knew they were coming.
Why didn't you tell me?
You didn't ask.
More wine, anyone? Why, Mrs. Worthington? I mean, the other one. And Miss Deborah, would you care for some wine?
Thanks.
Thank you, Edith.
Put the tray on the table, Edith, and help me check the dining room one last time.
Yes, Mrs. Vickers.
You can ring if you need anything.
Edith! Ina's a wonderful cook, so at least we'll get a decent meal out of this fiasco. What's for dinner?
Roast beef, gravy, whipped potatoes.
Oh. That sounds good.
Oh, Deborah, darling, why don't you and your mothers join us? Set a spell.
All right. This will do fine.
My, what a gathering. Edward's loving family and dearest friends. What a joke.
Did somebody tell a joke? I must have missed it.
Don't worry about it, Beatrice. I'll have to get Mrs. Vickers to call the organ man.
Edward is coming down.
Oh, get up, everybody. We have to toast the birthday boy. Oh, here, Lawrence. Happy birthday, Edward. Cheers.
Party time.
Nick, what are you even doing?
I was invited to the party. Can't you see I was dressed for the occasion?
No, you weren't. You're not even in the play. Now, please get off the stage before I have to drag you off.
Or what?
Whoa, what is going on? Where did you get the glass? Go give that back to props. This isn't a party for you.
It should be.
Now? Terribly sorry.
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip, hip.
Forget about it, Beatrice. 2 hips are enough for anybody.
I see you all managed to arrive. Good. I promise you this will be a night you'll all remember. Sit down, everybody. I have an announcement to make. When a man reaches the half-century mark, it makes him think, where am I going? Where have I been? What do I plan to do with the rest of my life?
You ready, Mr. Worthington?
Yes, Edith, tell all of the other servants I wish to see all of you in here now.
Yes, sir.
As I was saying, what do I plan to do with the rest of my life? Well, I tend to make some pretty important changes, for one thing.
Changes? What kind of changes?
That's exactly what I've brought all of you in here to discuss.
Edith informed us you wish to see us, Mr. Worthington.
Yes, Hollister, I wanted all my family's closest business associates and servants present while I make an announcement. Everybody in this room depends on me to provide them a living, and thus far, I provided for all of you very well. You'd think my generosity would gain your appreciation, if not affection. However, what someone here feels is resentment, perhaps even hatred. It has come to my attention that one amongst you is a traitor. What?
It must be you. You're a lawyer.
You suspect one of us is your enemy?
I don't suspect. I know. And I have proof. Lawrence. I had Lawrence bring me this. Inside is the evidence of the traitor's duplicity. And I promise you, before the night is over, this person will pay dearly.
Edward, if you're planning to punish one of us in some way, why not do whatever you're going to do now and get it over with?
I was wondering the same thing, Mr. Worthington, if you don't mind my saying so.
I intend to let this worm squirm a while before squashing it. I see you brought me some gifts. After I open them, I'll conclude with this. My birthday present to myself. That is when I'll rid myself of a backstabbing sycophant once and for all. But for now... let the festivities begin. What are we having for dinner, Ina?
Your favorite, sir. Roast beef, gravy, whipped potatoes.
Oh, disgusting. Oh.
I can hardly wait. It sounds like a dinner to die for.
As you've no doubt guessed, that was a blackout to show the end of Act 1, Scene 1. In my mysteries, that's the scene where I usually introduce you to the characters, give you an idea of their relationships to one another. That's called exposition. Now, in tonight's production, it was a little bit shorter, seeing as they and I told you something about them before the show began. Now, let's get into Act 1, Scene 2, about 2 hours later. This is the scene where the plot thickens. Make that the plot like gravy thickens. I had to get the full title in there. Act 1, Scene 2.
Edward! Oh, darling. What you doing in here all by your lonesome? Nearly everybody's in the parlor playing games till you're ready to open your gifts and make your announcement. Oh, well, they're going through the motions. Nobody's really interested in Monopoly or Clue.
Have you been up to no good, Peggy Sue?
Of course not. I would never do anything to hurt you, honey lamb. But someone could have told you I have been. Allegra, for instance. She hates me, you know. Oh, I just hate it when somebody hates me.
But Allegra has never said a word against you.
If she hasn't, it's because she's afraid to. I'm sure she suspects I'm more to you than an employee. But she doesn't dare confront you about it. Allegra knows if she forced you to choose between us, you'd toss her aside like a used Kleenex.
You think so?
Well, sure. You told me you made her sign a prenuptial agreement before you marry her, didn't you? Like the one Justine had to?
Of course, I'm too smart to let some fortune runner take me for millions.
Oh, but before you divorce them, your wives get to live like queens. Allegra has ridden the merry-go-round long enough. It's someone else's turn. Oh, wow, who knows? You might have finally found the woman you'll want to live with the rest of your life.
We'll see, Peggy Sue, but after tonight, there could be quite a few changes around here.
Oh, well, if you'll excuse me, I have to slip into the upstairs bathroom and freshen up. Now, don't you go and reveal your big surprise till I get back. I don't suppose you'd give me a hint who it is you plan to reprimand, would you?
I can't do that, Peggy Sue.
Even if I pout?
Even if you pout.
Well, then, I won't waste the pucker. I need little lines around your mouth anyways. I'll be back in 2 shakes of limbs, too. Here you are, Edward.
Are you looking for me, Beatrice?
Yes, I...
What is it?
Well, I listened to what you said to all of us earlier, and I'm confused.
I expected that.
I think you're unhappy with one of us,
At least one.
and you plan to punish someone?
Yep, that's my plan.
I hope it isn't me.
Have you been naughty?
I don't think so. I try to be good. I try really hard.
Then what are you worried about?
Those papers in the envelope. I'm afraid they're papers what's it called? To put me in a home.
Commitment papers?
Yes, that's it. You wouldn't send me away, would you, little Bubba? This is my home. I've lived here my whole life. We both have. I don't want to go anywhere else.
But, Beatrice, if you've done something really bad and need to be punished.
I wouldn't. I haven't.
We'll see. Do you know, Mr. Jameson, Beatrice?
Jameson? No, I don't think so.
Paul Jameson?
Jameson? Paul? Jameson? Oh, I know I've heard that name before. The other day, when I walked into the library, your lawyer, Mr. Tate, was on the phone with someone. And when he saw me, he said, "I'll get back to you, Jameson."
That's very interesting.
No. You see that thing here? I don't want to. My head hurts. Yes, Mr. Worthington?
My sister is tired, Hollister. I was wondering if you have Tina brew her a cup of tea to refresh her.
I'll be glad to. Miss Beatrice, why don't you come with me?
With you? Of course, Hollister. Where are we going?
To the kitchen, we're going to have some tea.
A tea party?
If you like.
Oh, I would.
You're wearing a very nice perfume tonight, Miss Beatrice, is it new?
Yes, it's called Primrose.
It won't take but a few minutes.
Oh, all right, if you insist.
Drag, the embers have gone out. What's so important you had to take me from the table? I own Boardwalk and Park Place. If someone lands on my property while I'm in here, I'll lose a fortune in rent.
For Pete's sake, Lawrence, that's just a game.
One that you were losing. I hope you do a better job of managing Edward's financial affairs than you do at Monopoly. So, what did you want to see me about?
Those papers Edward had you bring here tonight. What are they?
Good grief, really. You know I can't answer such a question. How long do you think Edward would retain me as his lawyer if I went around revealing privileged information?
Look, it's just, you heard what Edward said about there being a traitor among the group here tonight. The thing is, I've transferred some of Edward's funds, quite a sizable amount, into a bank account in my name.
Why would you do that?
Because a major television station Edward has wanted to acquire for a long time is going on the market. If the owners knew he was interested, they'd double their asking price. I plan to make them an offer in my name. If they accept, I'll purchase it, then revert the property to Worthington Enterprises.
I see.
Yes, now that I've explained it, but if Edward notices the money transfer and doesn't know why I did it...
Say no more. Want some free advice? If I were you, I'd hang on to that get-out-of-jail-free card you drew.
This is no joking matter.
You're right. Why are you telling me this? Why not tell Edward?
If I'm not the one he suspects of betraying him, then there's no need to bother him with it. He's never shown any interest in the details of how I invest his money before now.
Why cause attention to it if you don't have to, right?
Well, yes. So, if you'll just tell me if those papers relate to me?
I don't know.
What?
I have no idea what's in the envelope. Edward instructed me to go by his office on my way here, look in his desk drawer, and take out the blank envelope with the wax seal. He had me show him I have it and give it to him immediately upon arrival. That's what I did.
I assumed you knew.
As did everyone else, I expect. Edward could have brought the envelope home himself. I figured he had me bring it so he could make a point of me having to hand it to him. Stir everybody up. The fact is, I'm just as in the dark as you are about its contents.
So they could relate to you as well as anyone.
Me. I haven't done anything to feel guilty about. My conscience is clear.
Is it? Is it really?
Roy? The game's over. Justine won. I would have, but I hid my money and forgot where I put it. Oh, silly me! I must have deposited in my bra. Now I'm flat busted. My goodness, you two are a pair of gloomy gusses. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm going for a breath of fresh air.
Oh dear, I wish he wouldn't go outside while it's raining. He could be struck dead as a doornail, whatever that is.
I guess he figures the wrath of Mother Nature is nothing compared to Edward's.
Huh?
Lawrence, we rolled for you and Roy. I saw your money. You went bankrupt.
So I heard.
I believe this belongs to me too. The way I see it, get it while you can. Edward taught me that.
Mom, don't.
Don't worry, dear. I'll hold my temper, at least until your father makes his announcement. After that, anything goes.
I wish he'd get it over with. I hate suspense. I love murder mysteries, but I always read the last chapter first to find out who did it.
If you feel a rumble, it's Agatha Christie spinning in her grave. Calm down, Aggie.
Murders make me nervous, and when I get nervous, I break out in hives. It's just awful.
I'm sure it is. It's a good thing calamine lotion is so cheap. So, Lawrence, how about telling us what's in that mysterious envelope Edward is carrying near where his heart would be, if he had one? I'll make it worth your while.
Well, Roy was wondering the same thing just moments ago. As I told him, I don't know.
You don't? I thought it might be... Oh, never mind.
Why should you be concerned, Deborah?
Well, because Father arranged for the college. Send him a copy of my grades each semester. Not that he cares about me anyway. He's more interested in how his money's being spent. Well, let's just say I've had some problems lately, and I'm not doing so hot in most of my classes.
So you're worried that Edward might cut off your tuition?
Yeah.
If he tries it, I'll cut off his head.
Oh my goodness!
Well, we won't know what Edward's planning to do until he decides to tell us. But until then, the contents of the envelope will remain a mystery.
Oh, back, Eddie, honey? Fresh as a daisy! Oh, I thought Ed was in here. Have y'all seen him?
Not lately, which is how I like it.
After his announcement, he's been lying low.
Not low enough. I'd prefer 6 feet under.
Mom, you don't mean that.
Don't I?
Oh, he was here a little while ago. Oh, the French door's open. I wonder if he went outside. No, Roy did. I better go find him before it starts to rain and he gets soaked. They don't make drip dry tuxedos, do they? Excuse me.
So, you've made yourself fresh as a daisy and are looking for Eddie, honey? Just how personal a secretary are you, Peggy Sue?
I don't have the foggiest notion what you mean.
Oh, I think you do. It seems to me you're setting yourself up to be the third Mrs. Worthington III.
What Edward and I do is none of your business.
Maybe, and maybe not. If Eddie, honey, divorces Allegra and marries you, he might decide 2 ex-wives are more than he wants to support. I was going to ask Lawrence here if that mysterious envelope contains a prenuptial agreement for you to sign, but he says he doesn't know what's in it.
You don't?
Guess is as good as mine, my dear.
Huh. A prenuptial agreement. I hadn't thought it could be that. Oh, golly, I hope so. I'm going to find him and make him open his gifts right now.
I guess I just made her day. Darn.
You know, it just occurred to me that Peggy Sue could be my next stepmom.
Well, look on the bright side, Deborah. If you move back home, Peggy Sue could cook you grits for breakfast.
And I'd rather eat gravel. And I'd rather die than live under this with his father again. Excuse me, Mrs. Vickers had me serve coffee in the parlor if any of you want some.
That sounds good. Ladies?
I'd like a cup.
Why not? I might need the caffeine for energy if I get into a fight before the shindig is over.
Mom!
Just kidding, dear. Maybe.
certain when I'd catch you alone.
Oh, Mr. Blackwell.
It's Tony.
Mrs. Vickers said.
Never mind what that old dragon told you. She's not around. You look worried. What's the matter?
It's Miss Beatrice.
Beatrice? You mean Miss Looney Tunes?
Don't say that. She just gets a little confused sometimes.
Sorry, I meant it in the nicest way. Tell me about her.
Miss Beatrice's behavior has become very odd lately.
Lately?
More than usual. She started taking things from around the house.
Things? What kind of things?
Oh, mostly little decorative items like a crystal ashtray, a Fabergé egg.
Fabergé? We're not talking cheap trinkets here.
I know. Some of the items are very valuable.
What does Beatrice do with them? Sell them?
Oh no! She hides them to take out and look at later, except she tends to forget where she puts them. We, the servants, are always finding things stuck away in the strangest places. We put them back where they belong.
There's no harm done then. What are you worried about?
We're afraid Mr. Worthington may have noticed that expensive items have gone missing and may think one of us on the staff is stealing them. Those papers he had the lawyer bring tonight, they could be our dismissal papers. Mine, Ina's, Hollister's, and Mrs. Vickers.
So, if they are, you can tell her you're all innocent. That his sister has the sticky thing.
No! He'd have her put away. Don't you see? This is what we've been afraid of all along. We all care for Miss Beatrice a great deal. If we weren't here to protect her.
She would have been sent to a funny farm a long time ago. There, Edith, don't cry. I can't stand to see a woman cry. That makes me want to take her hand into mine like this. And kiss her hand like this. Edith!
That bunch in there is sloping up coughing like cows in a watering hole. We'll need another pot. Tell Ina.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have the urge for something sweet, Mr. Blackwell, we'll be serving birthday cake shortly.
I beg your pardon?
You know exactly what I mean. Edith is a nice girl. I intend to see that she stays that way.
Is that a threat?
Take it any way you like. If I see you near Edith again, I'll tell Mr. Worthington what you're up to. It won't take much of him to throw you out on your ear.
Why you?
Save your breath. Edith is off limits. You've been warned.
That witch!
I trust you're not referring to me, brother dear.
No, it's the housekeeper, Mrs. Vickers.
Oh, did she catch you trying to raid the pantry?
I was just talking with the maid.
Uh-huh. I told you to leave her alone. Mrs. Vickers is very protective toward Edith.
So I found out.
Forget about the girl. We've got bigger worries.
Such as?
That document, or whatever it is Edward's carrying around.
What about it?
It could be our eviction notice.
What do you mean?
I mean, they could be divorce papers. If I'm left out in the cold, you would be too, Tony. We'd both be penniless.
Divorce? Are things that bad between you?
Edward has grown tired of me, and I suspect he's already picked my replacement. At first, I thought he was simply having a mild flirtation with that Dixie cream donut Peggy Sue. Now I'm not so sure.
Peggy Sue. She's a knockout. But you're more sophisticated than she is, more glamorous than she is.
20 years older than she is. She has one thing I don't, Tony. Youth, and that's the one thing Edward's money can't buy me.
Edward's money. It should be your money, too. If he hadn't made you sign that agreement.
But he did. I'm afraid the only way his fortune could possibly become mine is if he were to drop dead before he divorced me.
Okay, hold on a second. Guys, didn't we already do this scene? I could have sworn we did.
Nick, yes, we did. That's not the point.
So then what is the point?
Will you ever shut up and let them please get back to the show for once?
As I was saying, there's not much chance of that. Edward's as healthy as a horse.
Well, even horses have accidents.
Allegra! What are you suggesting?
Nothing, Tony. Nothing at all.
Excuse me. Excuse me, Mrs. Worthington, Mr. Blackwell.
Yes, Hollister, what is it?
Ina is bringing in the birthday cake. We thought we'd gather everyone in here where Mr. Worthington can cut it and open his gifts.
Very good, Hollister. Where is Edward?
I don't know, madam. I haven't seen him since dinner.
Neither have we.
I'll look for him upstairs. Why don't you tell the others to come in here, Tony?
All right.
Get everything prepared, Hollister. We'll be right back. And fix that chair.
As you wish, madam.
Oh, you'd better have a handheld handy, Hollister. Before the party is over, somebody might be crying their eyes out.
I'll keep that in mind, sir. If there's any justice, it will be you.
Set the cake here, Ina.
Cake looks beautiful, Ina. It's too good for the likes of Mr. Worthington, but thank you, Edith.
Watch what you say. You never know who might be listening.
If someone snitches to that cold-hearted monster, let him. I'd have quit long ago if it weren't for Miss Beatrice.
We all would have, but we have to hold our tongues. For her sake.
She'd be lost without us.
Yes. I know, but he makes me so mad sometimes. At dinner, he even had the nerve to say that my whipped potatoes tasted a little odd.
He did compliment the gravy, though. Said it was nice and thick.
He was trying to get on my good side. He knew he had made me angry. And one of these days, I'll carve him up along with the roast beef.
Oh, Ina!
That's quite enough! Ah! Mr. Worthington left specific instructions that champagne is to be served with the birthday cake. Ina, Edith, come with me.
I'd better check the downstairs bathroom for fresh hand towels.
Well, well. It seems like my little envelope has created quite a stir. It seems that everybody under this roof has a lot to answer for, and they will, before the night is over.
We just made it! I told you the rain wouldn't hold up much longer. Oh, Edward, why would us for some fresh air? I had to find him.
And you did what the miracles never cease.
Oh, you're teasing. It wasn't easy, though. You have such a large estate.
Which, fortunately, I can afford. Can't I, Roy? I mean, my investments are sound, aren't they?
Of course, Edward. Why do you ask?
It's been a while since I went over them with you. Figured it was about time to do that. Say, next week?
If you wish, I'll schedule some time Friday afternoon.
Monday, 9 o'clock. Sharp.
Whatever you say.
Oh, this storm is outrageous!
You know, as an amateur meteorologist, I must say the storm is very fascinating. You know, if you want to know more about
Party time! Be seated, everybody.
My goodness, Edward. I thought you disappeared into thin air. Where on earth have you been?
Here and there. Have a seat, Peggy Sue.
Don't mind if I do, sugar.
Place them on the table with the cake.
Please, remain with us. I wouldn't dream of leaving the servants out of the festivities.
Yes, Mr. Worthington.
And last, but certainly not least, is my devoted wife, Allegra. Come in, Allegra. Sit. Now, the moment you've all been anxiously waiting for has arrived. Now, what should I do first? Maybe cut the cake, or maybe open the gifts.
You should open the gifts. You're wrapping paper. I mean, look at it.
The gifts? Are you sure? The cake looks delicious. You've outdone yourself, Ina.
Glad you like it.
I don't think I can resist it until later. I mean, Ina did make it in my honor. What kind of cake is it, Ina?
Devil's food? Oh, I'm frightened.
I don't suspect you're the only one.
For heaven's sake, Edward, stop toying with us. You know no one cares about the cake, or the champagne, or the stupid gifts. Tell us what's in the envelope.
Very well, since you're so consumed with curiosity, I'll get on with it. A harmless looking piece of paper, but what a commotion it has caused.
Of course it has, Edward. You're holding someone's fate in your hands.
More than one person's, possibly.
How right you are, daughter, how right you are.
Tell us whose, Edward!
We're all dying to know what's in that envelope.
Get on with it.
Please.
Very well. I'll let you do the honors, my dear. Open it. not at all. Sit down. I suspected for some time that some, if not all of you, have been keeping secrets from me. The hostility in this room is so thick, you can cut it with a knife. I figured it was about time to get everything out in the open, and I have. How did I do this? With a little party game I devised. Let's call it the envelope game, by making you think there are papers inside that could expose your deceitful nature. Each one of you projected your worst fears onto the envelope, and I heard them. They all came tumbling out, your little secrets. Roy's private investment using my money. Tony's slandering. Justine's fear I'll cut off her supports. Deborah's failing grades. Beatrice's kleptomania. Which my faithful servants have helped cover up. I even learned, inadvertently, thanks to a comment Beatrice made, the main secret I set out to discover, namely the identity of the one who's been selling my private information to a Mr. Paul Jameson. That's the man who has announced he was going to write one of those malicious tell-all biographies about me. I believe the Bar Association frowns upon such unethical behavior. Lawrence, what? Sit down! I'll deal with you later. To conclude my litany of offenses, there's my loving wife Allegra, who told her brother she wished to see me dead.
I didn't. You misunderstood me, Edward.
Oh, I understood perfectly. It seems like the only person in this room I can trust is Peggy Sue, my future bride.
Oh, Edward!
And she's marrying me for my money, but at least she's honest enough to admit it.
Oh, not just for the money, honey bunny. I love you too.
I believe you. Almost.
So what do we do now, Edward?
Peggy, Sue, and I are leaving. I've arranged a weekend getaway in a cozy little inn. When I get back, I expect all of you to be gone. I want every single one of you out of this house, and soon you will all be out of my life forever!
Ow, my foot!
Sorry.
Ow, my other foot!
Everyone, please remain calm. We have a generator for just such an occurrence. It should activate any moment now. There. You see?
Now I do. Bloody hell. Too soon? Freeze! Oh, wasn't that exciting?
Cairo corn syrup and red food coloring. He'll get a sugar rush like you wouldn't believe. As you've no doubt guessed, this concludes Act 1. You might have noticed I did delay the rain. You're welcome. At any rate, this brings us to intermission, so you can stretch your legs into whatever you need to do. See you in 15 minutes.
So Edward Worthington III is dead, and one of you killed him.
Welcome back. It's me, Walter. Hello. Act 1 came easily enough, but Act 2 is the tricky one. A murder has been committed, and now a murder must be solved. Now, in some of my mysteries, I isolate the characters, say on an island or a mountaintop, or in the woods in the middle of a blizzard. The killer cuts the phone lines, trapping everyone there with them. In these types of situations, it's usually solved
Miss Edwards. Anyways, all but Miss Dixie Cup served to everyone but Miss Dixie Cup served to gain from Edward's death. And everyone had an opportunity to stab the man in the back. Literally. And in case you're curious how we did that great special effect, Connie took the knife, hid it under a pile of napkins, while Roy took a matching knife handle and stuck it to the back of Edward's coat from there. Hollister took a bunch of fake blood and put it on the back of his coat. Pretty simple, huh? But I digress. In Act 2, Lieutenant McMillan will search for clues, question the suspects, and by its conclusion find out who killed Edward Waddington III. Now, keep your eyes and ears open. Who knows? You might find the killer's identity before I do.
You've all told me as a group what happened. At this point, I intend to question each of you again individually. I'll start with you, Miss Bowman.
Thank goodness. I, for one, am anxious to wash my hands.
Everyone should, before they get ink all over the furniture. Miss Beatrice has already finger-painted the coffee tabletop.
Clumsy me.
Don't fret, Miss Beatrice. Miss Vickers will clean it for you.
I've been dying to scratch hives, nerves.
I regret the inconvenience, but it's a simple procedure to fingerprint all the suspects at the crime scene.
If we're excused, I'm going to my suite to cleanse my digits.
May I suggest the guests gather in the parlor next door? There's a half bath across the hall, and the staff can wait in the kitchen until you're ready for us.
That's a good idea.
Well, what would you like to know, Lieutenant?
Let's see, Miss Bowman. You said you were Mr. Worthington's personal secretary. How long have you served in that capacity?
About 6 months, I guess. I mean, I've worked for Worthington Enterprises for a couple of years now. But when Edward's personal assistant retired last June, he pulled me from the secretarial pool and gave me her job.
Obviously, your relationship with Mr. Worthington became very personal if he announced his intention to marry you tonight.
What can I say? It happens. I would have made Edward a good wife, Lieutenant. Better than that ice cube he was married to. Allegra could shoot you a look that would give you frostbite. If I had to guess, I'd say she's your murderer, Lieutenant McMillan.
Possibly, but it's been my experience that a jilted spouse often strikes out the competition. In this case, you.
You mean, you think she would have gone after me with that pig stinger? Oh, golly. The very idea just gives me the willies.
Mrs. Worthington might well have killed her husband. I'm just saying there are other possibilities.
I have to admit you're right. I'd rather stitch my lips shut with a sewing machine than say something bad about anybody. But Allegra's brother Tony could have done it for her. He's a charmer, but I wouldn't trust him any further than I could throw a pigskin with a pig still in it. And Roy and Lawrence had good motives to kill Edward, too. He was going to fire both of them. And he threatened to press criminal charges against Roy and bring Lawrence's dealings with that writer Jameson to the Bar Association.
So I noted. His sister and ex-wife and daughter and servants all had motives to end his life as well. Miss Phillips might have committed the murder to protect her husband. If there's anything worse than having no suspects in a murder case, it's having too many. Apparently, you're the only one who stood to gain, not lose by Mr. Worthington's death. You're the only one I feel certain didn't stab the man.
Thanks ever so much. Now can I go home? I'm about to absolutely collapse from exhaustion. But before I go anywhere, I have to look over the classified ads.
Classifieds.
Oh, why yes, Lieutenant. When I lost Edward, I lost my job. If Allegra takes charge of Worthington Enterprises, you can bet your boots the first thing she'll do is give me the axe. Oh, I wish I hadn't said it like that. I just gave myself the shivers again. A goose just walked over my grave.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, that's what we say in the South when we get the shivers. A goose just walked over my grave.
It's a quaint expression, though. I can't see how one would link poultry with the hereafter. I gather it's used to express a feeling of impending doom.
I guess so. Well, in that case, I bet a whole flock of geese stomped over Edward's cemetery plot a few hours ago. Now can I go home?
Not yet. I may have more questions for you after I speak with the others.
Oh, that's all right. I'll do whatever I can to help. If you need me, I'll be in the parlor.
Beep, 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 boo. McMillan here. How are the fingerprints coming? That's it. The only ones on the handle that weren't smudged were the victims and his wife. Well, that's too bad. Everyone saw him handle the knife to open an envelope. What? You found traces of what? That could be a vital clue. Excellent work, Pete. Yeah, there's only one suspect who possibly could have left it there. But if someone else... I'm afraid not. They've all been fingerprinted, as you know, and are washing their hands now. So there goes the evidence, right down the drain. I'll have to find out another way. Yeah, if I'm going to discover who murdered Edward Worthington, I've got my work cut out for me. No, that wasn't meant to be a bloody pun. Uh-huh. Thanks again, Pete. I'll check you later.
You rang, sir?
Yes. Edith, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Would you ask the other servants to come in, please, as well as yourself?
Of course, Lieutenant McMillan.
You wish to see us, sir?
I do. Be seated, please. I have some more questions concerning what took place tonight.
I don't know how we can help you, Lieutenant. We were in the kitchen most of the evening.
It's what took place in the kitchen that I need to know about at this point. I'm specifically interested in finding out about the murder weapon. The knife.
My knife? What about my knife?
Where's it usually kept?
In a butcher block. It's part of a set.
It's seldom there, though. It's Ina's favorite kitchen tool.
That's true. I use it to slice and dice everything. Not including people, if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, I'm not thinking anything at the moment.
A good, sharp knife is hard to come by. I'd like to have it back when the case is closed. Or is that too morbid?
That's too morbid.
I assume you used the knife while preparing dinner.
Naturally, I chopped up some fresh chives to sprinkle on the whipped potatoes.
What else was served?
Roast beef, gravy, Brussels sprouts,
Salad.
congealed, jello and fruit.
At first, I had considered titling the play The Blood Like Jello Congeals. And then I thought, that's pretty gross. I wouldn't want to go see a play by that title, would you?
So you didn't prepare a salad dressing? Say, oil and vinegar?
No, sir.
Mr. Worthington couldn't stand lettuce!
I heard him say once that if he had been meant to eat green leafy things, he would have been born a rabbit.
What did you do with the knife after the meal was prepared, you know?
Washed it, of course, along with all the other utensils in the dishwasher.
And who touched it after that?
I did. Ina told me to take it out of the dishwasher and put it on the tray with the saucers and forks and things for the birthday cake. It was still damp, so I wiped it off with the dish towel.
And nobody else touched it? There were no fingerprints except possibly yours, or traces of food on the cake when you brought the knife back in here?
No, sir, it wasn't on my slate the whole time.
That's what I need to know. You've all been very helpful.
If it's a matter of fingerprints
It
being
isn't that, Hollister. The only discernible prints on the knife belong to Mr. and Mrs. Wellington, whom we know touched it.
I see.
Then have we helped?
I'll explain later, I hope. For now, I need to take a quick look around the kitchen.
As you wish. This way, Lieutenant McMillan.
Edith.
Tony, what are you doing in here? Are you eavesdropping on us?
Of course not. I was just listening in this direction. So, murderer didn't leave any prints on the knife.
Unless it was Mrs. Worthington.
Sis, it wasn't her.
How can you be sure?
For one thing, Edward was stabbed in the back. The ledger was sitting in front of him. If she had grabbed the knife off the table and stuck him with it, she would have hit him in the chest.
Maybe, but it was too dark to see. Mr. Worthington could have turned around to start toward the light switch.
Clever girl, as well as pretty. I knew you were special from the moment I laid eyes on you.
You shouldn't.
I know, but that's what makes it so much fun. Let's slip outside where we can be alone.
Lieutenant McMillan will want to question you too.
Not for a while. He's busy in the kitchen with Betty Crocker lurching the happy homemaker. Come on.
It's cold out there.
Don't worry, I'll keep you warm.
He thinks I did it. I know that policeman thinks I killed Edward.
Why would he, Roy? Why should he suspect you any more than the rest of us?
I could tell he doesn't believe I put that money on my account on Edward's behalf.
Why not? I believe you.
That doesn't count. You're my wife.
I think it counts. A wife should do anything she can to help her husband.
Even commit everybody else's. Where's the lieutenant? I want to volunteer to be questioned next and get it over with. My nerves are shot.
When I was in the half bath across the hall, I saw him going to the kitchen with the lieutenant.
Oh, I meant to ask you, what were you doing in there so long?
Searching the cabinet for calamine lotion. I didn't find any, but that's okay. The itching has stopped.
Good.
I'm getting better, honey. Before tonight, I hadn't broken out in hives in so long the scratches on my arms healed up.
I noticed. It was nice having a wife who didn't look like an inept lion tamer for a change.
I was thinking about buying some short sleeve dresses, but I guess that's out now.
I'd say so. Connie, did you notice any aspirin in that medicine cabinet? I've got one of my splitting headaches.
I didn't see any, but I'm sure Allegra keeps some in her guest suite. I'll write up and check.
I'd better go with you. With your sense of direction, you could end up in the neighbor's bathroom.
Oh, Roy. Poor Edward. He didn't even get to open his presents. I'm sure he would have loved the sweater we got him.
Maybe you can return it to Walmart for a refund.
Have you seen Edith?
No, we haven't. Excuse us.
There's got to be something in here to put them in. They were on the hall table?
Next to the half bath. I'm sure the flowers were in a container when I went in. When I came out, they were lying there in a clump.
Here's a vase. You can put them in it.
All right. There's something in there.
What?
They look like colored pebbles.
No problem. So, where's the detective?
I don't know. Shouldn't we wait into the parlor until he's ready to question us?
Why? Nobody else is. I wish whoever poked Edward would fess up so we could all go home, but I don't suppose that's likely to happen.
Mom, you didn't do it, did you? Kill father?
No, dear. I can't take credit for that, though I've threatened to do it loads of times. I know I'm always cutting him down, but I didn't do it literally.
I just hope he convinced Lieutenant McMillan of that.
He seems like a pretty smart guy. The lieutenant should know that if I was going to knock off Edward, I had done it years ago when he left us to marry Allegra, the shark woman. He'd have a hard time proving I killed my ex in a fit of anger that lasted 10 years.
If anyone could hold a grudge that long, you could, Justine. Except you wouldn't have needed a knife. With that sharp tongue of yours, you could have licked him to death.
Well, speak of the devil, and she appears. Still here? I'm surprised you make the most of the opportunity and run out to buy a new black dress.
With what? You know I don't have any money of my own, and I'm sure Edward's accounts will be frozen for quite some time.
Good point. And speaking of money, the fact that he was supporting Deborah and I should be proof that I didn't kill him. I'm not dumb enough to say the goose laying the golden eggs.
But tonight he threatened to cut off your income.
I know, but he's done that for years. Every time I ticked him off, which was often. If he actually did stop my alimony checks, I might consider homicide, but not until then.
The very idea!
Oh, let me explain.
What's going on?
A meeting of Edward's wives, past, present, and future. We were just waiting for you to join us.
What was going on out there? This snake in the grass, Thor's been a pass at me!
Peggy Sue!
I'll keep your skinny hands to yourself! I told Lawrence I was looking for a job. That's what Edward said. He offered me one with his firm, and then tried to show me some of the fringe benefits. If Edward could see what you tried to do, he'd be spinning in his grave. If he were in again. How could Father Lawrence he was in his grave? You know what I meant.
I felt a tremendous attraction to you for a long time, Peggy Sue, but I couldn't tell you as long as Edward
Was alive. Well, it seems that Edward's trusted lawyer had yet another motive to murder him.
For once, I'd have to agree with you, Allegra, although it hurts me like a toothache to admit it.
No, I wouldn't kill Edward because I too have romantic feelings for Peggy Sue.
And it's a good thing, too, because I wouldn't have you on a Christmas tree.
Why? Because I'm not rich? That's what drew you to your boss, wasn't it his millions?
What if it was? I'm tired of being poor. As my grandma once told me, love is fleeting, honey, but money lasts forever.
Are you sure you're not descended from Scarlett O'Hara?
Please, I didn't do anything wrong, I swear!
That ought to teach him a lesson.
Mrs. Vickers, you shouldn't have.
He can't say I didn't want him. Don't mind us. We're just passing through.
that was all about.
I don't believe she did that.
Tony, your nose.
It's nothing compared to what my eye's going to look like.
Maybe next time you'll listen to me. Come on, I'll wet a towel in the half back and clean it off.
Doesn't anybody use the front door? When I lived here, we used the front door all the time.
You man, you're all alike.
What? I'm not like Tony. I was only trying to comfort you.
If you had comforted me anymore, my daddy would have come after you with a shotgun. Everyone's back in here? Are we playing a new game? Oh no, Aunt Bee, we wouldn't dream of playing a game without you. That's sweet, Deborah. One of these days I'm going to surprise you and win one. Are there any nibbles in here? I was saving them for birthday cake, then nobody cut it. I noticed. You picked at your roast beef and didn't even touch your whipped potatoes. Oh. Don't worry, I'll get you something. Come sit on the sofa, Aunt Bee.
I have to make a phone call. If you ladies will excuse me.
Gladly.
If I had to guess, I'd say he's going to tell that writer the good news.
Good news? What good news?
That Edward has gone to meet his maker. On second thought, I doubt that's where he's headed. Anyway, Lawrence is a very lucky lawyer. Not only is the man who's going to have him disbarred dead, but that Jameson guy will pay him a fortune for a first-hand account of Edward's murder. With a climax like that, the biography of Edward Worthington III will be a huge bestseller.
I told you Lawrence was a snake.
You won't get an argument from me.
Did someone ring? Yes, Edith. My aunt is a little hungry. Will you see if there's something to serve?
Yes, Miss Deborah. It might take me a minute. That police detective is searching through everything in the kitchen. The cabinets, refrigerator, everywhere. I'll do what I can.
He's searching the kitchen? Wonder what for. Maybe he's hungry too.
You should have paid more attention to the lady.
I'm sorry, honey. It was an accident.
Perhaps I should see a doctor.
I don't know what he could do. Oh, hello again, everybody.
What's the matter? You look a little green around the gills there, Roy.
I still have, a ferocious headache. We couldn't find the aspirin in the guest suite bathroom, so my wife went to rummage through Allegra's medicine chest. Stupid me swallowed the pills without looking closely at them.
It wasn't aspirin? Well, no, I didn't see any aspirin, but there was this vial of big orange pills that looked like the prescription-strength Motrin Roy takes for his headaches. I gave him some before reading on the label that they were Premarin instead. I only gave you 4. Premarin? What's Premarin? Double-strength estrogen.
If Roy gets a sudden urge to try on some of your dresses, Connie, you'll know why.
Oh, stop it!
But, honey, why don't you sit down? Connie, Edith is bringing some snacks if you'd like to join us. Oh, good. Maybe having something on Roy's stomach will absorb the,
It's hot in here. Why is it suddenly so hot in here?
Don't worry, it'll pass.
Isn't that better?
I can't breathe.
So which had you rather do, breathe or bleed?
How bad is this way? I need to sit down.
What happened, Tony?
Mrs. Vickers poked me in the nose.
That mean old thing. If I were you, I'd scratch her eyes out.
Allegra, Roy took some of your Premarin by mistake. I thought it was Motrin.
What's Premarin?
Female hormones.
Well, why don't you just tell everybody?
I'm sorry. I don't know what's come over me.
Oh dear! What's the matter with Mr. Phillips? He's gone in touch with his feminine side. Actually, he's in touch with my feminine side. That was my prescription he took. If you've got any pills left, I'd love to give some to Lawrence and see how he feels being absolutely humiliated. Whatever happened to talking a conversation that I can understand? Like, weather?
Hairstyles?
Let's talk about murder.
Okay, look. I know I told you I wouldn't stoop to using low humor, but the bit with Roy and the estrogen got a little out of hand. Straighten up, Roy.
All right.
And Tony, take that out of your nose. You look like a walrus.
That's a relief.
Now then.
Let's talk about murder.
So, Lieutenant McMillan, do you know who killed my husband?
My ex-husband.
My future husband. Little Bubba?
Not yet, but the head of our crime lab, Pete, passed along some interesting information that might prove to be relevant.
I don't suppose you'd tell us what it is.
when the time is right.
Excuse me, Lieutenant McMillan. Miss Deborah said Miss Beatrice was hungry and requested we bring in some food.
We thought everyone else might like a snack as well. After Mr. Worthington's announcement, no one really seemed to have an appetite for dinner. The roast was barely eaten, and nobody touched my Brussels sprouts.
There were plenty of hors d'oeuvres left as well, so we brought them out.
Oh, good! Nibbles!
May we?
Certainly. Mrs. Vickers, all of the household seems to have migrated back to the living room except Mr. Tate. Would you find him and ask him to join us, please?
Yes, Lieutenant.
The snake slithered into the parlor a few hours ago.
Please, help yourselves.
You wanted to see me, Lieutenant McMillan?
I do. Staff, if you'll remain as well.
Lieutenant McMillan, I have a headache and I don't feel at all well.
Something you ate, no doubt.
If you're ready to question us again, I'd like to volunteer first and get it over with.
Please, Mr. Phillips, finish your nibbles first.
Freeze! Now, he may not know it yet, but Lieutenant McMillan is mere moments away from solving the mystery. However, I thought it might be interesting to see if you picked up on the clues and figured it out for yourself. I, with the help of these two stagehands, will call forth the suspects, and you, by a round of applause, can tell us who you think murdered Edward Worthington III. So, our first suspects are Allegra Worthington and Tony Blackwell. Remember, Allegra is Edward's second wife and soon-to-be second ex-wife. She and Tony both lived comfortably because of Edward's wealth, and they could have killed him to protect their lavish lifestyle. If you believe that Allegra Worthington or Tony Blackwell committed the murder, please applaud. You may be seated. Our next suspect is Edward's ex-wife Justine and their daughter Deborah. Because of Justine's attitude and because of Deborah's failing grades, Edward's alimony checks that he sent to them threatened to stop. If you believe that Justine or Deborah Worthington committed the murder, please applaud. You may be seated. Edward's last family member is his sister, Beatrice Worthington. Now, despite being a little confused...
The old woman, on the couch, please.
Despite being a little confused, Beatrice had plenty of motive to kill her brother. Firstly, he was about to commit her to a home, and she could have killed him to hide her recent kleptomania. If you believe that Beatrice Worthington committed the murder, please applaud. Not looking good for you. Other possible suspects tonight are Roy and Connie Phillips. Now, Roy, Edward's business manager, faced losing his job and possible jail time due to his transfer of Edward's funds into an account under his own name. And Connie could have murdered the man to protect her husband. If you believe that Roy or Connie Phillips committed the murder, please applaud. You may be seated. Now, Peggy Sue Brumley, Edward's personal secretary, seems to have no motive. Peggy Sue?
Nick, go get her. No! Her! Yes, please. Nick, why can you never get this right?
As I was saying, Peggy Sue Brumley seems to have no motive, and in fact, she stood to gain from Edward's living rather than his death, as opposed to everyone else. However, there could be some underlying reason or clue that you picked up on. If you believe that Peggy Sue Brumley committed the murder, please applaud. You may be seated. Edward's last business associate is his lawyer, Lawrence Tate. Now, on the other hand of Peggy Sue, Lawrence Tate had not one, but two motives to kill his boss. Firstly, he faced losing his job and defamation due to his breach of client confidentiality. And secondly, he also had romantic feelings for Edward's soon-to-be third wife, Peggy Sue.
If you believe that Lawrence Tate committed the murder, please applaud. You may be seated. And last, but certainly not least, is the household staff. Now, the household staff all cared very deeply for
Nick, I cannot stand this anymore. You need to stop. Like, now.
Okay. Is there something that you are gonna do about it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you off the stage once and for all.
I'm good for now.
I've been wanting to do that since the show began. The household staff all cared deeply for Miss Beatrice Worthington, and it's possible that they killed her to prevent Edward from committing her to a home. If you believe that one or more of the household staff committed the murder, please applaud. You may return to your positions. Now that we have reviewed the suspect's motives and actions, we can proceed to the climax of our story, where we will reveal who indeed murdered Edward Worthington III. Lieutenant?
As we know, any of you could have killed Mr. Wellington. The question is, who?
Beatrice, what on earth are you doing? Getting rid of those black things. I don't like them. Well, for goodness sake, don't throw the olive slices onto the floor. I thought they were bugs.
So did I.
Olive slices.
Black olives, Lieutenant McMillan. I put slices of them on some of the hors d'oeuvres.
I gather, Miss Wellington, that you removed olives from your hors d'oeuvres earlier tonight, say before dinner.
Oh, yes, Lieutenant. I never eat them. They taste nasty.
Did anyone else remove olives from your hors d'oeuvres before you ate them?
I confess. I picked a pimento off one and placed it on the hors d'oeuvre next to it. Really, Lieutenant McMillan, surely playing with one's food hasn't become a crime. Shouldn't you concentrate on solving Edward's murder?
That's exactly what I'm doing, Miss Worthington. In fact, I now know who the murderer is. Edith, you said you wiped the knife with a dish towel after it had been cleaned in the dishwasher, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said nobody else touched it until Mr. Worthington and then his wife.
That's right. But
Then there's only one person who could have possibly left traces of the substance my lab chief found on the handle. Oil. Olive oil.
that's what you're searching the kitchen for.
Yes, but I was searching for bottled oil that you cook with.
I don't use it. I prefer Crisco.
So I noticed. It never occurred to me to look for a jar of olives themselves. They must have been the source of the oil that Miss Worthington passed from her fingers to the murder weapon.
Oh, no! You think I killed little Bubba? Well, maybe I did. It was so confusing in the dark. Oh, Bee.
Miss Worthington, come with me, please.
With you, Lieutenant? Sure. Where are we going?
To jail! I'm arresting you for the murder of your brother, Edward Worthington.
Wait! Lieutenant McMillan, Miss Beatrice didn't kill anyone. I murdered the master!
Can you believe that? The butler did it.
Good for you, Hollister. If you weren't going to the slammer, I'd give you a raise.
Please, ladies, this is no laughing matter.
Who's joking?
You'd better explain yourself.
Yes, sir. You see, I've grown very fond of Miss Beatrice over the years, and the reason I never married is because I love her deeply, though I could never tell her so. It wouldn't have been proper, of course.
Oh, Hollister, how sweet.
I was terrified Mr. Worthington would send you away, as were you. When the lights went out and you stepped past me in the dark to the table,
How did you know that?
I smelled the perfume. Primrose. Then I heard the knife clatter as Miss Beatrice picked it up. I feared she intended to use it to stab her brother. I couldn't let that happen, of course, so I felt for her hand and took the weapon
And
from her.
stabbed the man yourself.
I hadn't intended to, but he fell back against me in the knife. I don't expect you to believe it was an accident, but
Oh, Hollister, I wasn't going to kill Edward. He was my little Bubba. I thought the knife was pretty. It had such a nice shiny blade. So, while no one was looking, I was going to hide it. I like to hide away lovely things.
I understand, Miss Beatrice. Forgive me for misjudging you. It appears I have made an unfortunate mistake, sir. I am prepared to do penance for the deed.
You've been a real gentleman's gentleman, Hollister. Well, up until you killed yours, of course.
Thank you, Ina. I trust you and Mrs. Vickers and Edith will continue to look after Miss Beatrice for me. I fear I shall not be returning.
You bet we will.
Hollister, let's go to the parlor. They're new cups.
I can tell, sir. I can tell.
I have to give headquarters a call. Yeah, we'll finish this in the parlor. Okay. As for the rest of you, I need to take your statements later. Since you're witness to the confession.
The dear man. Oh, don't worry, Aunt. We'll get a good lawyer to represent him. A good lawyer? I'd like to know how you plan to pay for one. I appreciate Hollister for getting rid of the old ogre, but I don't intend to spend a fortune to defend him. You are a cruel, greedy woman, Allegra.
And those are her better qualities.
Needless to say, you and your brat won't be getting any more handouts either. And as for Beatrice, I'm afraid Hollister's efforts were in vain. A rest home is where she belongs, and I intend to send her to one. The cheapest one I can find.
Oh my!
You wouldn't!
I know, sis. Yes, she would, and so would I.
Louse.
You're horrible. Mrs. Vickers, you're right. Tony is a terrible man. I figured you'd realize it sooner or later. I'm just glad it's sooner.
Roy, while I'm cleaning house, I expect your resignation tomorrow. From what we've all learned tonight, your business methods leave a lot to be desired.
But I
Allegra,
explained.
I wouldn't. Oh, I don't blame you for what you did. I just don't want you doing it with my money.
But it's not your money, and never will be.
What?
Edward left a will. I'll schedule a formal reading later, but I'll give you the gist of it now. He left everything to his daughter, Deborah, under two provisions. First, that if she were to marry, she'll retain her maiden name, and that if she were to produce a son, she'll name him Edward IV after him.
Well, I have no problem with that.
He also stipulated that you were to provide for his sister Beatrice's care for the rest of her life.
Oh, I would have gladly done that anyways. Gee, Mom, I guess Father really did care something about me.
What do you know? I guess the old boy had a heart after all.
What about me? He owes me something, too. I gave him the best years of my life.
From what he told me, that's not saying a lot.
Oh, shut up! Well, Lawrence, what did Edward leave me?
Your Louis Vuitton luggage, and as many clothes as you can pack into them, period.
Luggage? You mean I killed the old tightwad for nothing?
Sis!
I, too, heard the knife clatter when Beatrice picked it up, and saw it glimmer faintly. I knew someone behind him was holding it, but I wasn't sure that whoever held it had the guts to kill him. So I gave Edward a shot backward. Yes, I helped skewer the man, and I'm glad I did it.
Very interesting. It seems I'm going to have another use for these, Hollister.
I'm happy to return them to you, sir.
Sis! Don't say anything else.
That advice is far too late, Mr. Blackwell. It seems what Hollister said, Mr. Wellington fell back against tonight. He was telling the truth. He isn't the killer, but the woman who murdered her husband is. Allegra Wellington, I'm arresting you for the murder of Edward Wellington III.
Take me away, I don't care. Just get me out of this house.
Gladly. My men are on the way in a squad car.
Good riddance.
I don't believe it. Somebody's finally used the front door.
Hollister, you sweet man, why didn't you tell me how you felt ages ago?
It wouldn't have been the correct thing to do, Miss Beatrice.
Pickle, we'll discuss this subject later.
Perhaps, Hollister, it would help solve your problem if you were no longer Umpy's butler. I think it's time you retired with a generous pension. You can continue to live at Worthington Manor for as long as you'd like.
Oh, Miss Deborah.
And Mrs. Vickers, Ina, Edith, you're part of our family, and you've shown more love to me than Father was ever capable of, and I hope none of you ever leave. Of course not.
Deborah. About my job?
Well, no one can deny you invested Father's money brilliantly, Roy, but I'm not sure if I approve of all your methods. I expect to meet with you
every Friday afternoon to go over the books. And if I find anything irregular...
You won't. The figures will look like textbook examples, I swear.
Fine. Roy, does this mean you still have your job?
Yes, Connie.
Oh, good! Well, Marty's having a Favela sale tomorrow. I'll be there when the doors open.
Whatever you say.
If you're going to be taking over management of the business, Deborah, you're going to need a good lawyer more than ever.
Oh, I will. And I'm sure between Mom and I, we can find a great one. One who doesn't betray his client's confidence.
You mean I'm fired?
Like a gas grill on the 4th of July, baby. And, Lawrence, you can tell that writer that he's wasting his time if he intends to finish that book. If there's going to be a biography published about Edward, I'm the one that should write it. I think it's safe to say a bio by his first wife, who was there when he was murdered, will knock any writer's versions right off the bookstore shelves.
Mom, are you really?
I am, if you'll help. Your father was a tyrant, but he was my tyrant, and I'll tell it like it is. I'm sure if I try hard enough, I can find a few good things to say about him.
Well, I think it's a great idea. He paid your alimony when he didn't have to, and he provided for being on B.
If you need someone to take shorthand, I'm a darn good secretary.
Mom?
Oh, why not? You were taking Edward away from Allegra, not me, so you were giving her a taste of her own medicine. I guess I owe you something for that.
Well, I guess you can stay on, Peggy Sue.
Oh, thank you ever so much. To tell the truth, I'm glad I'm going to be working with women for a change.
Hey!
There's everyone but me! Where do I stand?
Out in the cold, Tony. And if I see you around here ever again, I'll stick the dogs on you.
You don't own any dogs.
Then I'll buy some. Oh, look at that. It looks like Lieutenant McMillan's men are arriving. So I guess that means Allegra will be behind bars for a long, long time.
She has one thing going for her, though.
What's that?
She always looks great in stripes.